Metallica was never just a band. They were a storm, a force that shook the earth one riff at a time. Their story isn't just about music. It's about pain, power, brotherhood, and the cost of greatness. It all began in Los Angeles, 1981. A young Danish drummer named Lars Ulrich placed an ad in a local newspaper, drummer looking for other metal musicians to jam with. That had led him to James Hetfield. Together, they had a vision. Fast, aggressive, loud. The kind of music that grabbed you by the throat and didn't let go. They called it Metallica. In 1983, they released their debut album, Kill 'Em All, raw, unfiltered, ruthless. It was thrash metal in its purest form, and it shook the underground scene. But it wasn't just noise. There was precision, purpose, a rebellion against the polished sound of mainstream rock. Their second album, Ride the Lightning, showed evolution. Bigger sound, deeper lyrics. They sang about death, fear, and fate. Then came 1986. Master of Puppets, an instant classic. An album that defined a generation. But tragedy struck. During a tour in Sweden, their tour bus crashed. Bassist Cliff Burton was thrown from the vehicle and killed. He was just 24. The band was shattered, but they chose to continue. To honor him. To keep the music alive. They brought in Jason Newsted, and the sound got heavier. In 1988, they released And Justice for All, Complex. Dark, political. The band was maturing, asking questions, challenging authority. And then everything changed in 1991. The Black Album with songs like Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters. Metallica exploded into the mainstream. They weren't just metal anymore. They were global. The tours were massive. The stages bigger. The crowds louder. But success came with a price. Internal tensions grew. Fans accused them of selling out. And underneath the fame, the band was fracturing. Newsted eventually left, citing burnout and creative differences. Meanwhile, Hetfield battled alcohol addiction. In 2004, the documentary Some Kind of Monster exposed everything. The fights, the therapy sessions, the vulnerability. It was raw, honest, and showed the human side of legends. But Metallica didn't fall. They rebuilt. In 2008, they dropped Death Magnetic, A Return to Roots. Fast, fierce, unapologetic. They proved they still had fire, still had something to say. Years passed. Tours continued. Albums came and went. But one thing stayed constant: their loyalty to the music and to their fans. Metallica wasn't just a band. They were a movement. They inspired countless others. From Slipknot to Avenged Sevenfold. From garage bands to festival headliners. They broke barriers, played with orchestras, released movies, pushed limits, and they never stopped. Not really. Today, decades later, Metallica still fills stadiums, still screams into the void, still turns pain into power. Because for them, the music was never a phase. It was life. And it still is. So when you hear that first riff, that thunderous down pick, that voice that growls with truth, you know what time it is. Metallica time. Louder than ever. Forever.